Happy weekend. It's a very nice sunny Saturday here in Copenhagen. The weather is slowly starting to be less cold and more spring-like, so that's very nice. And today I got a bit of a small book haul that I wanted to show you. All of these books tie into some of my ongoing reading projects, so I thought I'll show you what these are and talk a little bit about the project. So the first project I have in 2025, and probably also extending perhaps into next year, is reading everything from Cormac McCarthy. And I got a few novels of his here. I got No Country for Old Men in just a paperback. That's probably the next McCarthy I'm going to read, because I want to round off his Texas period, which started with Blood Meridian, goes through the Border trilogy, and sort of ends with No Country for Old Men. After that, I'm going to skip back and then take him chronologically through the Tennessee period. I already read Orchid Keeper. I didn't love it. I might reread it again, but I might just also leave it for that. And then the next ones I got are these two fairly nice UK paperback editions, which I don't see these editions that often, but you know, just for paperbacks, I quite like the cover. So the first of them is Outer Dark, which is McCarthy's second novel. And the third one, and the one I dread to read the most because of the subject matter, is Child of God. For those of you that know what it's about, you will know what I'm talking about. So once I'm done with that, I'll have Suttree left, and Stella Maris and The Passenger, and then his plays Sunset Boulevard and The Counselor, and maybe some others. I might also try to put in some critical works on McCarthy, some literary analysis, if I find the time. Now, my next project is Japanese literature. And after I read the Makioka sisters, I wanted to read more from Junichiro Tanizaki. So I got this one here, which is two of his shorter stories, The Key and The Diary of a Mad Old Man, which I can't wait to read. I think these are some of his later stories, but still before the Makioka sisters, I think. I'm pretty excited to read more of his bibliography, because I read the biographical and bibliographical entry on Tanizaki in Dawn to the West by Donald Keene, and it seems that the Makioka sisters is quite an outlier in terms of what Tanizaki was usually writing about. It seems that he had some fairly spicy BDSM obsession that seems to go through a lot of his earlier works. So that'll be fun. So yeah, can't wait to read that. And then this one here is also a UK paperback. All of these are UK paperbacks, I think. Oh, this one might be American. Some Prefer Nettles, supposed to be one of his better stories. And then The Secret History of Lord Musashi and Arrowroot are all part of this one volume here. So yeah, I look forward to getting through these. And then my newest project, which was really started because of how much I loved Madame Bovary, is to read more of Gustave Flaubert. So I first of all got the letters of Gustave Flaubert, also translated by Francis Stiegmüller, who did the excellent translation that I read of Madame Bovary. And these letters are spanning, I think, quite a long period, but a lot of them to George Sand and also to some others has to do with how Madame Bovary came about and how his writing process was. And I really want to read more about that. I find Flaubert extremely interesting. And then I have this very slim Oxford World Classic of 3 short tales by Flaubert as well. A Simple Heart, St. Julian, and Herodias, I think. Yeah. So very short short stories, but yeah, I just want to get some more Flaubert under my belt. And then you can say adjacent to that, and sort of getting into a whole different ball game, I got Charles Baudelaire's poems, The Flowers of Evil, or La Fleur de Mal. And the connection to Flaubert for this is that Charles Baudelaire was also put on trial for obscenity and breach of morality by the same court and the same prosecutor that prosecuted the case against Flaubert for Madame Bovary, where Flaubert was acquitted, Charles Baudelaire was convicted, and the forbidden poems were confiscated by the police. And this is a quite large collection of poems by Baudelaire. And I think it's 6 or 9 of the poems that are sort of the infamous forbidden ones, which of course I look forward to read. This is quite nice because it also has the French text opposite. And I do read a bit of French, not enough that I would be comfortable trying to, you can say, inhale poetry in French. But I think it will be interesting to kind of read both the English and the French text, and see how that plays out, and how the musicality and the syntax of the language is different, and how it may just come across differently. I have to say, poetry is an absolutely new area for me. I have never been able to really read or understand poetry. I do want to get into it at some point. I do want to prepare myself adequately for it. I have seen some videos about how to read and how to interpret poetry, so I have some idea, but before I really try to get into a lot of poetry, I'll do some more research. But this one will just sort of be a bit of a taste test for me to see. And as I said, I really got it because it ties in quite well with my Flaubert project. So these were all the books that I got today. Quite excited to get these and to start reading them at some point. But at the moment, I'm chipping away at my non-fiction literary history by Donald Keene on Japanese literature called Dawn to the West. I'm reading it chronologically from start to end, but also reading the chapters on the authors that I'm currently exploring. So I read the chapter on Osamu Dazai, I read the chapter on Tanizaki, and I'll read the chapter on Kawabata. And when I get to Yukio Mishima, I'm also going to read a chapter of that, and then I'm going to sort of flip back and forth and then pick up from my chronological read of that novel. And then last night I started The Brothers Karamazov, which is a big one, a big reading project that I'll probably spend a few weeks on, 3 weeks maybe. So yeah, these ones are going to have to wait for a little bit, but yeah, at least now they're here. Thank you very much and have a good weekend.